Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. As I try and adjust this microphone because everything here is messed up. Everything here is messed up. Okay? Stop messing with my studio. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate.
You look like an idiot. You look like you are the Australian version of whoever that guy was on Jurassic Park.
Sam Neill.
Is that
his
who it
real
is?
name?
Is that who it is?
I think so.
I'm horrible with names, so I don't know. Yeah, Sam Neill.
Yeah.
That's like the style of hat that I feel like he had.
It is a cattleman's Akubra in rabbit fur, direct from Melbourne, Australia. Pairs well with my
You hear that, PETA?
Kangaroo
You guys hear
leather
that?
cowboy boots.
You hear that? You hear that?
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure Peter's okayed it.
All right. Michael, the Grinder, Mizrachi, winning the 50K PPC. Grinder. His fourth PPC title. Absolutely dominant performance down the stretch. Even extends before the final day of play. Speaking of dominance, Shiina Okamoto absolutely steamrolling through the ladies championship. She leads the final table. One more day to go in that event. We have a first-time WSOP gold bracelet winner, Yilong Wang, winning the 3K no limit hold'em. And then the Gladiators of Poker became the second largest live poker tournament ever in the history of the game, if you can believe it. So a very, very, very big day here at the World Series of Poker. I am still very, very tired from last night. Very, very tired.
Yep.
So it is 11:15 p.m., quite a bit earlier than the 3:30 or whatever the heck it was last night. So get out of here a couple hours earlier than we did last night. I am operating on 3 hours of sleep. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why I do it, but it's silly. If you're listening, the least I can ask for is just hit the like button, like subscribe to the channel if you're on YouTube. If you're able to leave a review, do that. I mean, come on. We're grinding here for you guys, so please help us out, make us feel good. Or if you want to talk some crap, I mean, you can do that too. Go into the YouTube comments, talk some smack all you want. We'll probably talk some smack right back. We love to do it. If you want to play against us, head on over to playpokergo.com. Free online poker, just a few clicks away. It'll probably take you all of 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes tops to sign up. Another 30 seconds to get into a game. They got ring games. They got tournaments. They have sit and goes. The tournaments, there's a 1 million gold free roll that runs every hour on the half hour. So you should definitely check that out. I will say that producer Rich, I know, is listening. I have a gripe with the every hour on the half hour.
You don't like the half hour, do you?
So here's the thing. They do tournament breaks. So you play for 25 minutes and then you break.
Yeah.
Seems a little silly. Should just be on it every hour. That way you play for 55 minutes. Because you're all of a sudden you're playing, you're getting in the swing of things, and it's boom, break. It's wait, I just started.
Seems
weird.
This has no late registration, right?
Yeah. But you should just start it earlier so you play for a longer period of time. Right? That's what I think. So
second.
So I'm sending in a note to the suggestion box, which is me through the podcast to you, Rich. I forgot my water. Damn it. As you die, it makes me think that I forgot my water. So hopefully I can make it through this without dying. And yeah, cool. PlayPokerGo.com. Come play some free online poker. We had a lot of fun in those free rolls, those million gold free rolls. We had a lot of fun the past couple of days. Hopefully we'll keep those up, especially during the WSOP main event broadcast. Michael, the Grinder, Mizrachi, this guy and this tournament is something I'm not sure I would believe it, but I have seen it with my own eyes, so I'm forced to believe it.
Yep.
It's unfathomable that he has won this tournament, the toughest, most grueling poker tournament in the world, against the most elite competition. Crazy buy-in, 50K. I mean, just all of it. It has everything, right?
Yeah.
And he's won it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but now 4 times. Ultimately, it was Mizrachi's 7th WSOP gold bracelet, $1.33 million coming his way as well. His 6th cash in this event as well. He took home, as I said, $1.33 million. Bryn Kenny second, $887K. Esther Taylor, aka Ite, $590K for her. She finished the deepest that a female has ever finished in this event. Previous one was Melissa Burr, 2014. She took 7th, and those are the only 2 women to cash in this one. Andrew Ye got 4th, Zhao Vieira got 5th, Albert Daher got 6th, and Ben Lamb got 7th. Those were the final 7 players to come back for the 5th and final day of play. What do you got for me here? You're typing stats.
I typed the stat in. Yeah, you said 6 cash for Michael Mizrachi in the PPC. $6,064,000 in PPC earnings alone. It's just,
I mean, this guy is
crazy.
This guy is wild. Now, I will say this. He ran like freaking God on the final day. But he did put himself in that position to run like God, so you can't fault him. I'm a bit jealous of a son run like that. All around, there was some really fun hands. I think even extending back to day 4 and day 3, a lot of really fun hands. In this one, we did stream. I believe what amounted to 2.5 days of coverage of this tournament. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go find it on demand on PokerGo.com. For this final table, the great Ali Najad was in the booth alongside the ever so talented Jared Blesnick, and it was tremendous. Blesnick, of course, spoke his mind as he always does in the booth. He gives great insight, yes, but he also doesn't hold back. If he thinks you played bad, he's going to say you freaking torched it. And, so it makes for a very, very, very entertaining watch. So if you missed it, I would highly encourage you guys to go and watch that. I mean, Mizrachi just steamrolled this whole final table. I mean, right from the start, he was just boom, out the gate, flying. When he gets to 3-handed play, it's just like he's like taking chips from Taylor. He's taking chips from Kenny, then from Taylor, then from Kenny. Next thing you know, he's got like 27 million. They both have like 3 million. He's just running away with the thing. Ite goes out in 3rd. Mizrachi's heads up with Kenny. He's got 30 million to like the 2.5 or 3 million for Kenny. Like it's just insurmountable. He's never coming back from that with the way that Grinder was playing and running. It's just never happening. It just also was one of those things where it felt like Michael Mizrachi's tournament. I mean, I'm going to say on day 3, I know you and I were walking through the field and I was like, really? Really? He's still in,
again?
like he's still doing it. He's still got a big stack over there. And you just can kind of sense it, being around the game for so long. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like everything was going his way. And even you look at that final hand, where
the final hand.
He pushes Bryn off a pat 9 in deuce 7.
Off the best hand.
Yeah, off the best hand.
If Bryn stays pat, he doubles up.
Yeah, he doubles up. He decides to break his 9-7 to draw to a wheel. Pairs up his deuce. Grinder had the 10-6. So pushed him off. And when it's your day, it's just your day, right?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of mind effed him on that final hand, which I think Grinder did quite a bit of, especially late on day 4. A lot of talking to his opponents, kind of manipulating them in one direction or another. Same sort of thing happened at times today at the final table, or yesterday at the final table, I should say. There was one key hand where I thought Zhao Vieira made a mistake folding top pair with Jack 3 when Grinder ripped it in with an open-ended straight flush draw on the turn. I believe that was a no-limit hold'em.
Yeah.
And, Zhao like thought, ultimately folded the best hand. Now, of course, there was still one card to come, so Grinder could have hit, and with the way that he was running, I mean, he probably would have just smashed a straight flush. But still, I didn't understand how Vieira folded that hand in that spot. I think there were a lot of people, I was getting a lot of texts, different group chats or whatever that were watching the stream. We're in the same boat, but that's the type of day that it was for Michael Mizrachi. Whenever he was drawing, he like immediately drew to the best hand. Whenever he needed to get a bluff through, as evidenced by the fact that, it was a semi-bluff, yes, but still, like, he didn't have to go to the river, go to showdown against Zhao Vieira. Zhao just folded. So, like, everything just worked out. Even when on the final hand, as you mentioned, he got the best hand to break, and he ultimately wins it. So, a really, really incredible, stellar performance from Michael Mizrachi, and we had the chance to sit down with him afterwards. So let's hear from the grinder.
In the end, wow. Michael Mizrachi wins his 4th PPC.
Well, when you're playing the best, you got to be the best, you know. And I just been very fortunate. I don't even know how to do it, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I had a shot to win it 5 times. I had a shot last year. Yeah, I don't know. Just the event, I just run good. I can't even explain it. Thank you so much.
Oh, look at that.
That looks like the same ones as the other ones.
Good.
To tell you the truth, I thought that in the beginning. I knew I had the talent. I started when I was 14, 15 years old. You know, always looked up to Rob. You know, but I always felt like, you know, we were guiding each other. You know, he was my mentor, and then we learned a lot from each other, and a lot was just self-taught. Now, after you win a few tournaments, you feel good about it. You want to keep doing it. It's confidence. I've been up here, been down there. I've seen everything. But I just always keep my composure. I keep calm. Like, I know I'll get it back if I go down. I know I'm not worried. I know my talent, my skill will get me to where I want to be. And here it is. I have the best friends, best family. I mean, my kids, just everyone, just very supportive. Even when I'm down, they're always there for me. Even when I'm high, they're here for me. But like, it just real. I can't say that. I love them all.
When people talk about the legends of the game, do you feel like your name gets mentioned enough?
I think it does. Maybe this might get it done. I would think so after 4 PPC titles, and it's quite an accomplishment. And I have no words to express. I mean, this is crazy. I can't even believe it.
Do you have your sights on the Hall of Fame?
We'll see. I mean, I'm not in it yet, but it pushes me to work harder and motivates me. If I'm not in it, so I'll keep working. If I don't make it next year, I'll get the following year. Maybe I'll win the PPC again.
4 PPC titles. What does this win say about Michael Mizrachi?
I'm the PPC champ, baby.
Just the best. Just absolutely the best. You're going to tie this into a new password?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard the complaints from the people.
Oh, the people are complaining, huh?
People are complaining. I'm not going to name names.
I think you should name names.
I'm not going to.
I think
they
you
know
should.
who they are. Simple as that. So we're going to do a new password for those who are new listeners. If you're following us, on YouTube, found us on YouTube. We are giving you guys a seat into our PGT $1 million championship. Yep. You can sit with Jeremy Osmus. You could sit with potentially Michael the Grinder Mizrachi, Daniel Grano. All these guys that qualify for our $1 million free roll, and you're going to represent the PokerGO podcast. It's very, very easy. Lots of ways to win, but for us, you go to pgt.com/dreamseat. You'll see all the promotions, but there is one for us, the PokerGO podcast drawing. Click the link. You're going to go to this page. It's got a bunch of things you have to do. Follow us on Twitter, retweet this, like us here. But we put in a password. We put this password in. Gives you 10 extra raffle tickets. And we're going to change this as much as we can. End of October, I believe, we'll draw a winner. Obviously, the more things you enter, the more passwords, more tickets you get. You may have that seat to represent us in the PGT $1 Million Championship. First prize, $500,000. Not too many podcasts give you the chance to win $500,000. We are probably...
Heck no.
We're the only one. That's about $25K worth of equity. So today's password is going to be, I think it's very fitting. It's going to be Grinder.
It makes total sense.
GRINDER. Grinder. Put that in. You get your 10 extra tickets. And like I said, if you're new, a bunch of other things you can do. Follow us. There's a retweet option. All kinds of visit page here. Visit this page there. And there's some old passwords too. So you can go back and try and find those. But I think during the main, we'll try and maybe do it every day. If I can remember to stay on top of it. But yeah, we're trying to get you guys into the PGT $1 Million Championship. Gonna be a good one.
On the coverage today, Blesnik was calling this, well, at the time he was saying if Grinder does go on to win, it would be the greatest accomplishment in poker history. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, my boy Bill Boyd may have some of this.
I'm going to quit this.
For those listening at home, I purposely said that. We are not
allowed to talk about anyone pre-1990.
Just for the Donnie Peters eye roll, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you would have witnessed it. It was perfect. Greatest accomplishment in poker. What is his competition? Okay, Friedman,
Adam
three
Friedman,
dealer's choices.
he did it 3 in a row.
Yep. Mark Newhouse, back-to-back final tables. Right?
It doesn't even register
But that's
on
what
the
I'm
same
saying. So let's see.
scale as what
Let's put it
Grindr
in.
did.
Let's put it all in a bucket and see which one floats to the top. Is what I'm trying to say. What else can we even put in there at the WSOP?
Well, I mean, I think it's.
Aaron Cummings back-to-back deuce to 7 triple draw wins.
I mean,
Well, you gotta throw
I
it
think
in. You gotta
the
throw it in.
closest comparison is obviously Adam Friedman.
Yep.
So
3 in a row versus 4 total.
Do you add some weight to Friedman because one, he did it 3 consecutive wins? Okay, there's that. Also, in your opinion, like if you're weighting it, do you consider dealer's choice to be a little bit more of a difficult game than a 9-game mix, which has a structure? It flows, from games 1 through 9. It goes from 1, 1, 1. It keeps going through them. Whereas dealer's choice, you have no idea what anyone's going to pick. Like they could throw you for a loop. There's 21 games in the rotation.
Yeah, it's 21 games.
So, there's that element. I would say that I know the money is bigger, of course, in the 50K PPC. It's 5 times the buy-in, yes, but fields are probably very, very, very similar.
Yeah, skill-wise, numbers-wise. I think I'm going to say winning a dealer's choice might be slightly harder than winning the PPC, just because of what you said. You're going to be playing games that, maybe, you have never played. We saw a tweet, I think it was a tweet from David Gunslinger Buck today. He is a PPC winner. Wanted to play some cash, and he playing these silly circus games of Badesi and Badusi. Well, that's kind of the core of cash game mix games now. So that's part of the dealer's choice. So, I think winning a dealer's choice is maybe slightly harder, but the fact that Grinder's been able to win 4 of these over, pretty much, what is it? First one was 2010. So, 15 years, and it's been in different variations. He won the 8 game when it was no limit hold'em final table. He won the 8 game.
Oh,
when
it was no limit hold'em final.
I remember
first
that.
one. I remember that.
His first one was that. His second one was normal 8 game, and now he's got the 9 game one. So he's won it in 2 different formats, or 3 really different formats, I guess you could say. And the fact that he's got 4, it's hard to not give him the advantage, the upper hand in this discussion.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Grinder for sure. I think I agree with Pleasant. This is the greatest accomplishment that we've seen in poker. Now, what's also interesting is that there's somebody that could do it if they just win this tournament once more, and that's Brian Rast. Which is pretty wild to think about. For as good as it is for Michael Mizrachi to win 4 PPC titles, there is another player that, in 1 year's time, we could be talking about him tying that incredible record, which is wild to think about. So very interesting stuff. Congratulations to Grinder. Very, very, very cool night here at the World Series of Poker. And then speaking of dominance, kind of in this same vein, we got Shiina Okamoto dominating the Ladies Championship. She is 1 of 7 entering Sunday's final table. There were more than 1,300 entries in this field. Now, Okamoto, if you recall, if that name sounds familiar, if you've seen pictures of her and you're like, where have I seen that face before? Well, 2 years ago, she took second in this very event for $118,000. And then last year, she went and one-upped herself. She said, you know what? Second's not good enough. I'm going to win the damn thing.
Yeah.
And she won it for $171,000. And now she has a fairly sizable chip lead entering the final table. She has 24 more big blinds than second place. 7 players remain. They are guaranteed $26,000, $184,000 up top. And Okamoto is freaking in the driver's seat again.
She's absolutely crushing, and
I don't understand what's happening.
It's just like we didn't understand Grinder. We don't understand this either. She's just, ever since day one, like you said, second in chips, now chip leader. It's kind of just crazy. What's funny though is I was over there after dinner break. I was going to talk to the ladies about the plan for the day, and our resident bio writer Keegan, he was handing out the bio boards, and we were chatting. He goes, "Yeah," I'm like, "Oh, we have to give them out to everyone." He goes, "Everyone but, Shiina." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, obviously." He goes, "They're filling it out." He leans into her. He's like, "Is there anything you want to add to this?" Right? Like, we've done it twice, so we don't really need her age again or her name again. We've got all that information. And she points to the, biggest accomplishment And like she goes, just change this one to last year. You know, her English isn't great, but we both, you know, Keegan laughed, she laughed. You know, so obviously her greatest accomplishment last year was second. The ladies now
Makes sense.
it's obviously winning, so that's her on there. And then who knows? Next year when she's chip leader in the 2026 Ladies Championship, she's going to say, you know, the 2 wins I have in this event. So she's going to be basically the next Michael Mizrachi, but for the Ladies Championship.
You know, I listened, actually finished it up this morning on the drive in, but to the Table One podcast, Justin Young and Art Parman, but they had on Chris Brewer, and Chris was talking about, you know, his career and his life in the game and whatever. And at one point he mentioned how he doesn't really believe that confidence is a thing in poker. And I'm sorry, but I just have to disagree. Now, I mean, he did explain himself a little bit further. So when I say I have to disagree with him, I'm you know, half joking, but I do believe confidence is a big thing. And like, as it pertains to Shiina Okamoto, like, she has to feel supremely confident when she comes into the Ladies Championship every year. And I think it then shows through in her play. Like, she's just doing it. And every decision that she makes, she must just feel like, yes, this is the right one. And yes, this is going to work. And there's no cloud in her judgment. She's just able to come whatever the right answer is. So I do think that there's a lot to say about confidence in poker. Now, if you do actually listen to the Table One podcast with Chris Brewer, which I would highly recommend because it's very good, but he talked about how confidence, and you know, it maybe isn't so much of a thing in the way that I'm referring to it at the most elite levels, because you know, those players, the Chris Brewers, the Steven Chidwicks, the Nick Petrangelos, you know, Sean Winters, all those guys, like they're always going to really be playing their A game. It really doesn't matter. So, and then, you know, if you're, Chris also said, I believe, if I'm stating it correctly, but if your B and C game at those levels isn't very, very close to your A game, then you should never be playing at those levels. And the confidence factor probably applies much more to lower buy-in stuff, you know, hence the Ladies Championship, you know, which has a 1K buy-in, gets 1,300 runners. You know, this isn't a Triton Field or a PGT or something like that, where it's much smaller. It's more like, you know, whatever, 100 entries, you know, much more elite player pool or whatnot. Not that these women aren't very, very good, because they clearly are, but it's just kind of a different process to go through it, right? You might not just be like full robotic the whole time. You know, you're doing more of like live poker player type of stuff, you know, feeling your way through things, reading the situation and whatnot. I mean, there was one clip that our social media guys sent in that I watched where Shiina jammed, I believe it was on the river, against a lady, and it didn't seem like it was that much more than what the bet was, and the pot was very big, and the woman tanked and eventually folded, and like the rest of the table was kind of like, what, how did you fold? Like, you know, whatever. But like, that's where I'm thinking about the confidence thing, and I'm like, well, maybe Okamoto's just like, no, I know this woman's going to fold. I know she maybe I think she's playing scared. She is really close to the final table and she wants to make it. So I'm just going to pounce. So, you know, stuff like that I think can factor in at these types of levels. And I think Okamoto is just executing to absolute perfection. And it's going to be very exciting to watch this stream on Sunday, June 29th. The stream is going to be on PokerGo, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have Lon McCarran and Jen Shahade on the call. Natalie Bode is going to be on the sidelines, and I'm super excited to see how she does at this final table. I'm fully expecting her to end up in the winner's circle. I just am. Like, I feel like it's just one of those runs, much like I felt like with Michael the Grinder Mizrachi. I am just ready. Again, like I said, I think we should keep the name Ladies Championship, because I think this event deserves to, you know, shed light that it is on the Ladies Championship event of the world in poker. But it is presented by Shiina Okamoto. Like, it's done.
It's presented.
I mean, you can just boom.
It's hosted. It's sponsored. It's everything.
I mean, she should be presenting the bracelet. Should she not win?
To
like
herself.
the whole. Well, yeah, but in the case that she doesn't win, like if her aces get cracked or whatever the heck happens, you know, she can present it, because this is her event.
Yeah,
like it really is. It's absolutely incredible to watch this run. You know, even if she were to go out 7th tomorrow, let's say, a second, then a first, and then a 7th is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. So congrats so far to Shiina Okamoto. But like you always think about in poker tournaments, you're never really going to be happy until you win. So I'm assuming she's going to be very, very, very interested and, of course, gunning for that victory. She's ahead of Juliet Hedges. Probably butchered that name. I'm sorry, Juliet. Stephanie Hagberg in third. Sonia Shashikina, Heather Alcorn, Julie Hune, and Sumiri Unomaki.
They're really testing you on
I
these
for
ones.
sure butchered 80% of those names.
Side note,
I apologize.
I think Heather, I believe, is a previous dealer of the year.
Yeah, not only
at the World
dealer of
Series.
the year, yes. She plays now quite a lot. She plays a lot of the different games. She's had some success, and here she is running deep, making the final 7. She's got 26 big blinds to work with. Okamoto's stack has 94 big blinds in it. So, not only has she made the final table with the chip lead and with a pretty healthy chip lead, again, 24 big blinds over the next closest player, but she's got a lot of big blinds to work with.
Yeah.
They're fairly deep here. So I'm excited to see Shiina Okamoto get to work. Again, that will be streaming Sunday on PokerGo. Lon McCarron, Jen Shahadi on the call, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Yilong Wang is the winner of his first WSOP gold bracelet. He won the 3K no limit hold'em for $830,000. Ran Ilani took second place. Ren Lin, we all know Ren Lin, Mr. No Gamble, No Future, Mr. Tom Brady, Mr. Lady Gaga. He took third for 406. Yulian Kolev, fourth. Kunal Patni, fifth. Sengun Nam, sixth place. Fabrizio Gonzalez, seventh. Jason Richard, eighth. Pawan Bonsal, ninth. And then Stephen Jones rounds out the top 10. Stephen Jones, former runner-up in the WSOP main event to Daniel Weinman. He finished in 10th place. Pretty fun to see. Well, it was ultimately 4 final tables happening if you include the ladies one. I know that we talk about it like the final table is happening on Sunday, but they also got down to 1 table and they played down to 7. So you had the 10K Deuce to 7 championship, which is still playing, and we'll talk about that. They're still playing. You had, of course, the PPC. You had this 3K, and then you had that ladies, like all happening at once. Among the fact that you had other tournaments going on in this main event center room here at Horseshoe. So certainly buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And part of the reason why that it was buzzing, second largest live tournament ever. This is one of those days at the World Series of Poker where I feel like we can like remember this day specifically. You obviously had Grindr. What Shiina Okamoto is doing is incredible. And then you have the Gladiators of Poker becoming the second largest live tournament ever. So I'm thinking like many years down the road, because we have that article on pgt.com where it's the top 15 largest poker tournaments, right? And now we're going to have to put the entry for this tournament, this Gladiators tournament, into second place.
Yeah.
A couple years down the road, we might be looking at this list, referencing it or whatever. We're going to be like, oh, remember second? Remember that was the day when Grindr did this and Shiina did that. And oh, Nick Schulman was going for his second this summer. Like all that was happening at once. Like it's one of those things that just sticks in your mind. So enormous field here for day 1D of the Gladiators of Poker tournament, 9,875, which is
oh, sorry, I didn't know where you're talking about. It is the largest flight in WSOP history. Sorry, I was like, what are you pointing at me for?
Help, please, for the love of God, help me.
You gotta tell me that you're gonna throw it to me. But yeah, that's the largest.
I was literally about to poke your eye out.
It topped 2019 Big 50 Flight 1D, 9,100 entrants. This is also 40% of the field in this Flight 1D of Gladiators, but not the biggest percentage of all time.
I don't care about that.
I do.
I don't care about that.
1K Mystery Millions this year, 41.44%. So it's pretty close. But largest flight in WSOP history. Sorry about the little.
Just to put a little bit more into context, just how big the flight was today. Last year's day 1D, 6,869 entries. This year, as we've been talking about, 9,875. So more than 3,000 entries better than last year's final flight. That is wild.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm not sure I heard much at all about long registration lines,
nothing
going 10-handed. anything. Everything seemed like it was flowing quite nicely. I know the hallways and the bathrooms were a little bit backed up on the breaks, but other than that, smooth sailing.
Yep.
Absolutely smooth sailing. So kudos to the WSOP there for that one. Again, quite a bit of ways to go in this one. So we'll touch on it more in the next episode when we thin the field a little bit more. We start seeing, who's building big stacks, where they're going from there. I don't think we have the prize pool yet. The full prize pool. I know they all got into the money.
The flight, yeah.
But I don't think they issue the big prize pool. But it's probably going to be around $500K for first. You would think,
yeah.
Which is wild.
It's also, yeah.
I mean, it really is a $300 lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I would much rather play that than actually going to just buy a lottery ticket. I would much rather fire on this just because it's more fun.
I have more chance of the lottery ticket.
It's more fun to play poker.
It is, though.
It's just way more fun to play poker. The 10K PLO championship event. I'm still holding out, by the way, on this 10K Deuces 7 just to see if we can get a winner or whatever happens there. They were 3-handed when we started the show.
I don't think we're getting a winner.
So you just want to talk about it now?
Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at the chip counts. I mean, we could, but I think we should talk about it now.
All right. There are 3 players left. The 10K Limit Deuce to 7 Triple Draw Championship. The 3 players are Matthew Schreiber, Nick Schulman, and Alexander Wilkinson. Schulman is, of course, going for his 8th WSOP gold bracelet. His 2nd this summer. He won the 10K No Limit Deuce to 7 single draw earlier in the summer, and here he is in the final 3. Right now, as things stand, 11:43 p.m. on Saturday night, Matthew Schreiber is the current chip lead, but they've kind of been all over the place.
Yeah.
Like Wilkinson's had the chip lead. Schulman was short. Schreiber's had the chip lead. Schulman's had the chip lead. They've been all over the place. So don't think we're going to get a winner in this one tonight. So let's just touch on it. We'll leave it there. We'll come back tomorrow. But do want to mention $333,000 up top. Final 3 players are guaranteed $144,000. We lost High Park in 4th place. We lost Brian Tate, founder and CEO of
Oats. Overnight.
Oats, overnight, baby. Yuri Zavalevsky in 6th place. Oscar Johansson in 7th. And friend of the podcast, Pedro Bronfman in 8th place. So that's how we got down to the final 3. Again, final 3 guaranteed $144,000. Second place is $215,000. And first place is $333. So we'll finish wrapping up on this one. If it happens to end tonight in the next, 15, 20 minutes, whatever.
0 chance.
Yeah, 0 chance. I mean, listen, there's always a non-zero chance.
That is true.
Somebody could go on a heater like Michael Mizrachi and just run through them. Run through them. Absolutely run through them. Okay, so we got the 10K PLO championship that kicked off today.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine this one is just going to be enormous at the end of the day.
782 runners right now.
What did it have last year? It probably already beat last year's.
It had 811, so probably going to
So it's going
beat
to
it.
smash through that.
Yeah,
It's going to
remaining.
get over 900 for sure.
It's a big number.
I know you wrote down that Jeremy Osmus was leading.
Well, he's now 3rd in chips. So
but I
jinxed
don't
him.
see him leading.
Yeah, he's not. Alex J, who plays on some of our Champions Club streams down in Houston, Texas. He's the chip leader. Renji Mouse 2nd in chips. We got Frank Brennan up there. We got Thomas Taylor. He's having a very good World Series. Toby Lewis, Richard Grieco. Obviously, Gabriel Andrade. A lot of PLO names that people would be familiar with. But yeah, this is a 4-day event. It's a slug. This one is a slug.
But only one entry. It's a freeze out, I believe.
This is the one where they thought they added the re-entry.
Yeah, I
then
feel
they
like it
took
was
away.
back and forth 17 different times, but I believe it is a freeze out. And I even think the WSB Twitter account tweeted out the 10K PLO freeze out. Like that's what they put out. Yeah.
Okay.
Just so like everyone knows, this is the freeze out. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Renlin busted, Jason Mercier busted, Mickey Dueck, Brandon Scheck Harris, Huck Seed, Scott Seaver, David Williams, Barney Boatman, and George Wolf have all been eliminated. We also lost Tommy Lee, the legend, who I guess, according to this Poker News report, because he's in the same hand with Alan Lee, was at the same table as his brother.
Wow.
Brother on brother crime? What's up with that? All right, so that's the 10K PLO. I would expect this one to just get, again, 900 plus, 950. Now, one of the other people that we lost in this event was the one and only Daniel Negreanu,
Yeah.
because he made a boo boo.
Oh god.
What is it? The oopsie meter? By the way, we have a duck up that we have to
We
talk
do
about
have
with
a
you
duck up. He has an oopsie. Yeah, he has an oopsie meter.
because he misread his hand.
Everyone's done it.
I mean, are you Daniel Negreanu or you're not Daniel Negreanu? I mean,
I did it on 1-2 and 11 hold'em cash game.
you didn't do it in the 10K
This is a
PLO.
little bit more
You didn't do it in the
expensive.
10K PLO freeze out championship.
Freeze out championship.
Did you? Right?
Definitely not.
The PLO FC. That's what this is called. The PLO FC.
I like that.
So I guess this hand, according to Poker News, was against Max Steinberg, and it looks like it's blind versus blind. Steinberg in the small blind, Negreanu in the big blind, and I'm sure this will be on Daniel's vlog. At least I hope it will be, because we'll see the oopsie meter. But they get to a final board of 7, 3 deuce, king 10, no flush present.
Mm-hmm.
Steinberg checks. Negreanu jams all in for what he had left was 4,600 at the time. Steinberg calls. Negreanu turns over king, queen, jack 9. Now remember the board is 7, 3 deuce, king 10. Negreanu has king, queen, jack 9. So he just has a pair of kings.
Which is okay.
With a queen kicker. And then he said he immediately realizes what happened. And he says, I misread my hand.
He thought he had kings up?
Thought he had king 10.
Yeah. Okay.
Or else he would have checked. And Steinberg did have king 10, had king 10, 8, 5. So Steinberg with the 2 pair. Negreanu thought he had 2 pair. And Negreanu is out. And he'll be on to the next one. So what are you going to do? Happens to everyone, I guess.
You can just re-enter, right?
No, you cannot.
What?
This is the freeze out
The
championship.
freeze out championship, that's right.
Of the entire pot limit Omaha world. Okay, so no re-entry for DNegs. Little boo-boo there, a little oopsie meter, but no big deal. He'll be in the next tournament. The $1,500 8 game is cruising along right now. Where are we at in this one?
There is 19 remaining of the 789 entrants. Massive increase from last year. I think it was like 400 something. Everyone's guaranteed $7K right now. They're playing for 184,000. Working our way from the bottom up the chip counts. Brad Rubin shooting for his second bracelet of the summer. Nico Milgram there. He's in 14th place.
Nico's going to win this one. This is
Smokey,
the one.
Steve, Billaraka still grinding away,
baby.
13th in chips. We have Scott Abrams up there. Move up 5th in chips. Xingyang Lo. Is that how we say it? Xingyang Lo? Anyway, he's shooting for his second bracelet of the summer, 4th in 12 months. Because he won 2 last summer. And the chip leader is Narcus Nadelku.
I like when you have to say the names. And I don't have to say
gives you a bit of a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
we can just trade off events if you want.
Yeah.
I'm okay. You're the boss. You tell me what to do. Do whatever you want.
19 players remain. They're guaranteed $7,700 up top, $184,000. Congratulations, Nico, on your first gold bracelet, because you, sir, are going to win this one.
Field bonus already?
I can already tell.
17?
No, 8. Well, yeah, 18 left. Yeah, so he got a field bonus. How many were in there?
789.
Yeah, so field bonus of 7. 7 plus 5 is 12. So right now, 12 points for good old Nico Milgram.
He's going to win, so it doesn't matter.
He is going to win.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it.
Yep.
I am feeling it. We have the $2,500 mixed big bet. Did that start today?
No, this is starting tomorrow, Sunday.
Oh, okay. Is it so? Only the PLO started today
Only the PLO started today
because of that big field in the Gladiators.
Remember, I thought
we both messed it up. It's a double duck up.
Yeah, so we announced yesterday that the mini main event was starting on Saturday. I'm going to claim the duck up mainly because every World Series, I built this master Google sheet that everyone works off, and it's normally perfect. It's beautiful. It's colors.
Highly questionable on that, guys. Just FYI.
It's so beautiful.
Highly questionable.
And for some reason, I had the mini main event starting on Saturday. And obviously no one questioned it because my stuff is perfect. And it actually starts on Sunday. You thought it was weird that it started on Saturday, but you didn't want to question it because I never make a mistake.
I mostly didn't question it because it was about 4:25 in the morning, and I was over it.
But yes,
and I was trying to figure out how I was going to operate on 3 hours of sleep and play the event. But thankfully, I don't have to do that.
Yeah, producer Rich, you can put a little duck up here. That's on me. But yeah, that's going to start Sunday. 6,076 runners last year. The other event starting is the 2,500 mixed big bet, and that had 468 runners in 2024. So 2 events on Sunday. Jolly 29th.
Well, on this mini main event, given the fact that the Gladiators of Poker had 3,000 more entries than last year, or more than 3,000 more entries than last year, right? How much was the total? 3,000 was the last flight had 3,000 more. So it had almost 4,000 more.
4,000, 3,900.
Just under 4,000 more. So given how big that is, I feel like that's a nice lead in to then take a shot in the mini main event, especially if you cash.
If you
right?
cash,
you can just parlay that money. But it could also be one of those things where you come on out, you're like, okay, I'll play, I don't know, 2 or 3 shells in the Gladiators of Poker, $600 or $900. And then I got another 1,000 I can put into the mini main, $2,000, pretty good trip. I get 2 kicks at it. Let's go. Or, 2 events. So I feel like this is pretty good scheduling here that this mini main event is going to be pretty big. So you said what? Last year was 6,076. I'm going 6,800.
It's a big number. I thought you were going to go much bigger, actually. So, I personally do think the difference between 300 and 1,000 is a lot.
It is, but this is still a good
players,
time.
That the Gladiators targets. So I don't see a lot of people going to parlay just, coming here playing both. See a lot of people taking some shots in the Gladiators. Obviously $1,000, that's 3 bullets in the Gladiators versus 1 in the mini. But yeah, I agree there'll be an uptick. It is a Sunday, going into that kind of July 4th, take the week off, come to Vegas kind of like ideal. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to hopefully be a nice big one, nice lead into the real main event.
To the real main events.
Yeah.
I still wish they called that 9-game tournament the mini PPC. Yep. They got the mini main event. They should have the mini PPC. That's what I would absolutely love to see. The main event starts on Wednesday. I'm leaning more and more that it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every day I add another 50 entries in my head. So we'll see where we end up. I know we're going to work on a special main event preview podcast coming up in the upcoming days. So we'll have more on that. But another big day ahead on Sunday at the 2025 World Series of Poker. I'm most looking forward to that Ladies Championship final table that will be streaming on PokerGo, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Shiina Okamoto is looking to defend her title. She is the chip leader with 7 left. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. I do have to go do commentary over at Venetian. They got a $1,600 ultimate stack final table. So that's going to be a lot of fun as well. So if you want to join us there, that stream starts at noon Vegas time, 3 on the East Coast. I believe it should be done or right around done at the latest before the Ladies Championship. So you could do double duty.
Yeah.
You could watch Remco and I doing that Venetian final table, and then you can hop on into the Ladies Championship with Lon McHarren and Jen Shahadi. So join us in the streaming streets. Let's go.
We also actually have a third stream that day.
Huh?
We have a third stream.
What do we have?
We have the BetMGM.
Oh my gosh, we do have
create
a
a cash game. So if if tournaments, you bet stale, you want to come watch some cash games, BetMGM have a few events starting tomorrow. With the created cash game. Monday is the big league live streams. Got a bunch of retired MLB athletes. Gary Sheffield, you know that name?
Gary Sheffield, yeah.
Yep. I don't know what that is. I'm not a baseball guy.
Rich knows exactly what I'm doing.
Andrew Jones, you know that name?
Yeah. Andrew spelled with a U.
With a U. And then AJ Purensky. I think they're the 3 famous guys. Apologies to you baseball fans out there. I'm not a big baseball guy. But that is on Monday. And then July 4th is the BetMGM Poker Championship from RA, $3,500 main event. They've had big numbers all week. So I think that's going to be a pretty big one.
Some of these numbers that I've been hearing around town for the last week or so, I know kind of some were hit or miss, kind of earlier in the summer, but this last week, everything sounds freaking gangbusters.
This week. And it's just like, is everyone coming into town? Is everyone finding some money? I don't really know. But yeah, it does feel that this week, everything's kind of been turned up a few notches with those, Aria specializing in those 1-day 1100s. We have those big, the main events over at the Win that Arthur Martirosian won. So yeah, it seems like poker's getting quite busy right now. Perfect timing, really.
It
Week
is.
out
No,
of the main event.
It definitely is
Yeah.
perfect timing. So tons of stuff going on. Absolutely love to see it. I do have a couple of shout outs that I got to
Okay.
get to. I missed some from yesterday. Again, it was like, 4:30 in the morning, whatever the heck time it was by the time we got to the end of the podcast. So forgive me. But Benjamin from Sarasota, we chatted for probably 20 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, on just kind of the state of the poker industry, the state of poker content, poker on TV, all that sort of stuff. It was a very, very good conversation that I had with Benjamin. I believe also said that he was Brazilian.
Okay.
Makes his trip out here every summer. Uses it as his Father's Day present. So shout out to you, Benjamin. Really did enjoy our conversation. It was very interesting. One of the things that we talked about specifically is kind of similar to in the NBA, and I know you're a basketball guy, so I can draw these parallels here. But the NBA had, like, right now, they have LeBron James and Steph Curry, right? Those are the two biggest names, but they're also kind of on their way out. Who are the next stars that people are going to gravitate towards? Similar to poker, you got the Daniel Negreanis, you got the Phil Ivies, you got the Phil Hellmuth, right? But they're not going to be around forever.
It better be.
Well, okay.
But yes, I get what you're saying.
they're going to be around forever, but how long are they going to be around for? And how long are they going to be around in the fact that they're like winning and like at the top of the game and all that sort of stuff? And like, who's that next wave?
Who's our next Luka Doncic?
Yeah, but like
it's Martin Cabral.
Honestly, Martin Cabral could if he plays his cards right. But there's got to be more than just that. And I think that the Martin Cabral thing is interesting because in the NBA specifically, I know there's a lot of conversations with NBA heads about how like the current biggest stars, or at least the youngest biggest stars, aren't American.
Yeah.
So you need an American poker player to kind of rise up. Now, there are a lot of poker players that they have game and they're well known, but do they have the personality that the older generation has? That's kind of what Benjamin and I were talking about. Because that's what sucks to like the mainstream fan. Like that's what they attach to. So yeah, it's just something to think about. And I don't really know or have an answer, and that's what we settled on. But it's always kind of something to think about, like who are these next stars?
I think we've talked about this before, that playing poker is so different to when it was in the 2000s, right? Where these guys are on TV, they knew that there was endorsement deals and stuff. Nowadays, it's very, very different. These guys are more serious. They're playing for bigger amounts of money. So, what is the value to them? Sitting there laughing, having a good time, spilling a drink, throwing some jokes, doing some funny antics. There's not that much value. There's more value in the poker side of things. Playing, perfect. Playing GTO. Playing the best you can to maximize your position, being at a final table or a feature table, something like that. So the poker industry is very different to what it was in the 2000s when 90% of fans grew up, idolizing Negreanu, Hellmuth, Mattisau, all these, the way it was produced to highlight these stars. It's just kind of a different, very different product now. Like back then, no live streams, all edited episodes. Now, kind of all live streams. And I would say once people mostly watch live streams, they're not probably tuning into the episode. So they see, the long drawn out gameplay versus, hey, I'm going to cut up all these highlights, put them together for you to tell a story. So I think it's just very different. And I don't know if we're trying to find the next personality, like the next Mattisau, or we're trying to find the next kind of players that people look up to in certain ways, whether it's their mannerisms, the way they kind of conduct themselves at the table, or maybe they just like their style. Like maybe they want to be, fearless and aggressive like Alex Foxen. They like the way, Nick Schulman acts at the table, the way Chrissy Foxen acts at the table. So I think we're just looking for different stars, and it's just not how it used to be.
Yeah, and I think the main takeaway that Benjamin and I settled on was we don't really know what the answer is, kind of like you're saying, and it can be different for a lot of different people. So I guess just kind of keep our eyes on the lookout for it, and then when we see it, whatever it is, just got to be ready to pounce, right? Obi from Germany, Doc Ober. I got him a hat. Don't worry. I got him a hat. You denied him a hat, but I got him a hat.
How?
Because I had one.
Oh, you hid one.
I did not hide one, but I had one. It was 125% not hidden. In fact, when I put it where I put it, you were with me. So shout out to Obi. Cameron from Ventura, California.
Okay.
He usually plays cash, but he sattied into the main.
Oh, good job.
So he's going to be taking a shot there. I think he said he's into the main for around $3K or $3,500 or something. So nice discount, affordable price. Cameron, shout out to you. Hopefully you go deep in the main event. We got Joseph from Seattle. He made me do a weird back-to-back pose where we were like our shoulders were leaning against each other. I mean, it was kind of weird. I'm not really a pose guy like that. No. I did it because I like the fans, but
we love all the fans.
That might be the first and last back-to-back pose ever. So shout out to you, sir, for getting me to do that, but it's never happening.
The unicorn pose.
It's never happening again. We got Eric in the Gladiators. His second bullet, or he was on his second bullet. Hopefully it works out. The first bullet did not work out. He got it in top set versus bottom set, and the guy ran out of flush. So that was bad news for Eric. So yeah, meeting a lot of people around here. It's always fun. See if you guys hop on in to the main event. And if you are in the main event, rep that PokerGO podcast hat. Let us know how you're doing.
Yeah.
We very much look forward to it. And, if you want to send a email into podcast@pokergo.com, shoot us a DM or whatever. It's pretty simple these days to just get in contact with us. We have your name. We can quickly look up at your table and see. We can send our photographers out there. We can get a photo of you.
Yeah.
We can do all that sort of stuff nowadays. So don't be shy. Definitely do not be shy. So those are shout outs that I just wanted to get to. You got any for today?
I have not. I've not been here that often.
Okay, good.
I had to run to BetMGM, so no.
Sounds good. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. His name is Tim Duckworth. My name is Donnie Peters, and we will talk to you guys next time.
See ya.